Now let's get to a story that is months in the making. Today, Governor Tina Kotek unveiled the 10 recommendations that emerged from her downtown Portland task force that she created over the summer. The big reveal happening during the Oregon Business Summit at the Moda Center.
So unlike you, I raise an eyebrow at the idea of another task force being part of any real solution. But in August, when Dan and I convened a group charged with helping Portland and its comeback, we took a bet that if you put people in a room from different disciplines and life experiences to solve a shared problem, you can leave with concrete solutions. And I believe we've won that bet. We came up with 10 concrete action items focused on the next 6 months.
You can decide for yourself if the governor won that bet she mentioned, because you bet here on The Story, we're going to look at those 10 recommendations. And it's important to remember these are just that, recommendations. Nothing is set in stone, so to speak. Nothing is set in stone, so to speak. And many require action from government on the local level as well as the state legislature. Number 1, declare a tri-county, tri-government fentanyl emergency, meaning the state, Multnomah County, and the city of Portland should declare a 90-day emergency and establish a, quote, command center downtown to coordinate a response to the fentanyl crisis. Next, ban the public use of controlled substances and reduce barriers to prosecuting drug delivery. This one falls on the legislature, calling for a ban on public drug use and upping penalties for people caught dealing. Number 3, depends on the legislature banning public use. Ramp up existing infrastructure for effective and speedy implementation of a public use ban, which is aimed at boosting a Multnomah County addiction treatment program. And before we go any further, you might be wondering what a fentanyl emergency is, what it does, what it means. The governor was asked that question at a press conference this afternoon.
The value of doing an emergency order, whether it's the state, the city, or the county, but in this case, all three, is it allows us to focus existing resources. So an emergency order gives you flexibility to reassign staff, to reassign existing dollars that could be in a different program. Say, we need to do these things. Without an emergency order, you have to go through your regular processes. This creates an urgency. It allows us to bring those dollars and those staff together in addition to what's already happening. I very much envision a place where there are good things happening, but they need to be in the same room every single day, having a conversation both on the public health side and the public safety side, so we can see more progress on the central city streets.
So the top 3 related to drugs and fentanyl on streets. Now to more of those recommendations. Number 4, focus peer-delivered services and street outreach workers specifically on the central city. Pretty self-explanatory. Number 5, increase safe and accessible options for unsheltered people. The task force touts the county's investment of $3 million for daytime shelters next year, as well as the homeless plan that the city and county announced last week. Number 6, expand Central City's homeless shelter capacity, which is mostly being done already with Safe Rest Villages, as well as the mayor's mass encampment sites, one of which might open in the spring on the north side. Number 7, increase law enforcement response in the Central City. The task force wants the Portland Police and Oregon State Police partnership downtown to continue into 2024, as well as getting PPB to put more public safety support specialists downtown, plus more clean and safe officers. Number 8, this one is simple, clean up the city. The task force wants community mapping of downtown's biggest trouble spots when it comes to trash and debris and everything else, before asking organizations like Solve to work through a prioritized list. The governor will also ask the legislature for $20 million for ODOT, which will be used for trash and graffiti removal. Number 9, bring down the 2020-era fences and plywood. We know you've seen them. The task force wants the federal government with its own buildings, plus the city, the county, and downtown businesses to prioritize taking down fencing and plywood ahead of the 2024 Rose Festival. Make it look different to make it feel different. And finally, number 10, declare a moratorium on new taxes and offer targeted tax relief. The task force wants elected leaders to agree to a 3-year pause on new taxes and fees, as well as putting together a tax advisory group to look at ways to improve our taxing structure.
There are a lot of recommendations, But part of my job with me and co-chair Dan McMillan was to take all of the ideas, prioritize of what we can focus on in the first half of 2024. And that's what you see in the top 10 recommendations, from the fentanyl crisis declaration to the areas around livability, to the areas around that are recommendations and hopes for the 2024 legislative session. All of those things are focused on making progress in the Portland Central City, bringing people together and being aligned. One of the biggest things we heard out of the task force is there's a lot of good things happening, but nothing seems to be coordinated. Well, we're working on that. That's part of the reason for the emergency declaration. So the alignment and the amplification of this work is going to be critical for the next 6 months to show not only the state, but the nation that Portland is turning a corner, and we are focused on results to make this a place where people want to visit and live in, and that's part of the recovery we're focused on.
So there you have it. Here's my take on this. None of this is very surprising. Outside of perhaps the tax moratorium, which may raise eyebrows and still needs buy-in from local governments, it feels like what we've known and talked about time and again. And it is frustrating how many of the recommendations still rely on future action, buy-in from state and local lawmakers. How long until that happens? Will it happen? Or will it be another wishful list of to-dos? We will see. We don't have the time to go through every recommendation in complete detail, but if you'd like to do that, head to the website there at the bottom of your screen, portlandcentralcitytaskforce.com. And before or after you check out that website, let us know what you're thinking of the recommendations so far. Email the story at kgw.com or call and leave a voicemail, 503-226-5090. We want to hear what you think so we can share what you think and work through this together. Keep it